Hey everyone, so today I want to present the pitch deck of DataUnion, and this is what we're going to use for the people that we're looking for to invest in our seed round as well. But we see the Ocean community also as venture capitalists. So like you guys with your votes in the OceanDAO, you're deciding which company gets to continue with their work and which doesn't. So some people, some projects, they will not be able to continue if they don't get the funding. I mean, just like it's very difficult, to run a company without any funds. And in this kind of stage, or if you want to build on a blockchain technology, for example, like Ocean Protocol, it's very difficult to get funding. So yeah, I think you guys are the ones who should decide, and that's why I also want to explain to you what we are about and why we think that we should get funding in the next few rounds until we can do our seed funding. Okay, so DataUnion is about powering data collaborations for data-centric AI. So that's like the first layer 2 solution on top of Ocean Protocol. It does not really allow to make a layer 2 solution like Ethereum. You cannot just make a smart contract on top of Ocean Protocol, but I think we found a way to do that anyways. And data-centric AI here means that we are not looking to just add more and more data, but to find the right kind of data to improve the AIs. So how are we doing this? So we are building data units as a service, and these units will always create AI-ready data, so annotated data, and then algorithms are going to be created on top of them. So like these are all data assets on Ocean Protocol, and then there's going to be a co-ownership. So like normally Ocean Protocol does not allow to essentially model this directly and in a as a service way. So we are going to add some more mechanics and some more code, and basically kind of like our own protocol on top of this. But this is then also going to be deployed as a service, so that companies can do that without having to own crypto themselves. So why are we doing this? So like, yeah, currently in the Web 2.0 world, the big companies here, the FANG companies, are using private people and companies as their data deliverance, and then they are creating AI algorithms, like the algorithms on top of the data, to then generate a lot of value, but they don't share that value back. I mean, the only thing that they offer is maybe some free services, but I mean, there's a lot more value. You can see that their shareholders are gaining a lot of money. Every year they make more and more. So like we think it's just makes sense to turn this around and give this back to the people. And yeah, in data collaborations, we have experienced in our professional life before doing the startup, we have seen that there's a lot of problems around incompatible data. So there always is a problem on how the data, the metadata of the data is structured and the data itself, and this is something that we want to improve upon. And that if you want to set something like this up, the contracts take ages to set up, and then there are a lot of uncertainties. So like it's very difficult to determine the value of data nowadays. So like Amazon, Google, they all have data marketplaces, but there is very difficult to price the data, because like data has a different value to different people. It's a very subjective manner. So yeah, we want to solve that as well. And then data privacy. So like as soon as you start sharing any kind of data which has a part of personal information in it, then data privacy becomes very important. And also like many times people do not want to offer the data a copy of the data, and that's also where we see a problem. And yeah, so the general thing that we see as the thing that we want to solve is like a change in the way that AI algorithms are created. So like usually a data scientist is hired by a company, or they have them already, and then when they start to create an AI algorithm, they have to start to collect data, then to clean the data, then to annotate the data, basically to get the data into a state where they can then create an algorithm on top of it. So this statistically takes around 70 to 80% of the time. It's a very cumbersome tasks, so data scientists don't like that too much. But yeah, it's a necessity that exists in all the companies or where you create data, and we think okay that's just something that we want to improve upon. So like we think that data unions around different data types and different data verticals can then start collecting this data and annotating this data for the data scientists. So like companies can come together and say like okay, well I essentially I don't want to have a data collection and data annotation part in my company. I'm going to hand this over to a data union, so my data goes in there. I'm going to then get a co-ownership in that, so like other people are going to then annotate it and make it machine learning ready. But yeah, I get a share because I contributed the data. The other people will get a share of the returns then because of the annotation part. So and then the data scientists can come in and they can then work with the data union on top of Ocean Protocol, create the algorithms and then use them. So we think this makes everything, the whole process much faster. Also, it allows much better reusability across companies, across projects, because like the union is there where everybody can participate in, and it's not like individual data silos in different companies. Okay. So how are we going to do that? So on the first important part is that we are going to use Ocean Protocol and the data security provided by computer data. The second important factor is then co-ownership. So like who contributes in the value chain to create an algorithm will also be get a share of that. So like on the sales, we think that the data sales are one important part, but that the algorithms who are created on that will have much larger number of uses. So if you think about an algorithm that detects something in a camera frame, let's say it detects a car, so that's going to can be used on many frames of videos in many different situations. But the data itself underneath it, it's going to be used a limited time to create these kind of algorithms. If you have a perfect algorithm, you don't need the data necessarily too much anymore. And in this case, we think that it's very important that the people who create the data also get a co-ownership in the algorithm, because then they also have something from this in the long term and not just this the training part. And how are we going to bring in the people? So we are going to create play-to-earn mechanics for crowdsourcing the annotation and the verification part, and we're creating a software development kit around this, so that different data verticals can then also create their own play-to-earn mechanics. So if you think in a sensor data case where you have IoT data, it's going to be a different play-to-earn mechanism than in image data, for example. We foresee that there will be 10,000 of data unions. So we want to create a Shopify experience around it and then use smart contracts to take care of these legal specificities that now are governed by contracts. And the last feature that we're using is Ocean Protocol's liquidity pools and automated market makers and the data tokens to make it possible that the data can be priced in real time on a market, which we think is a very important feature. We see data unions as a stage approach. So like first an idea is created, so an initiation is done, and then the data union goes into the breeding stage. So here it could be, for example, different companies who are recording data with their car fleet, but they think, okay, it's now a better idea to come together to sell them than to sell them individually. So now they come together, then it's decided, okay, how is the data going to be created? How is it going to be annotated? What are the verification mechanisms? And then discussing these things, setting them up, and like creating a first prototype, and integrating then this also into the Web3 stack. So like in this stage, the data token would be residing on a test network, for example, Rinkeby. DataUnion here comes into play to bring a technology stack. We consult them to help them to do that. We have a micro worker pool, and yeah, some other advantages for them. But then after they find their first customer, then we see them in the next stage. So that's the growth stage. So here a real data token is then created on top of Ocean Protocol. We can bring in then investors. The data token itself allows then also a monetary value and an economic system around this data union. And data scientists will then also come into play to start creating the algorithms on top of it. So like then as these will be computer data sets, they can also then be bought, and then you could make, for example, make some competitions around it to make good algorithms. And all of the other options that are available in the Ocean ecosystem are then applicable. We as DataUnion, we will help the company to do the data token. So in many cases, the companies don't want to have a Web3 part in their companies. They won't want to have anything to do with crypto, so there we're going to use data token as a service from our side. Then we will bring in a governance part so that this can also be a DAO with voting. Yeah. And from this stage on, after they grow their own community, so if the DataUnion becomes bigger, then we see them as partners, so as ecosystem partners. And now they can then decide, okay, well, I mean, we want to now collaborate more with other people. So like we want to work with other DAOs. We want to get more outreach going. We want to have some talent in our DataUnion. So that's where the DataUnion ecosystem then comes into play, to help them, to connect them, and to also connect them to the rest of the world after they come to this partner stage. Okay, at the moment we already have some traction. So we are partnering with 12 different DataUnions. They are in different stages. So some of them are still in the outline stages. Other ones are more in a pilot stage, and a few of them are already with their first customers. So yeah, most of them come from the Ocean protocol ecosystem, so that's really awesome. We love that, and it's really great to start working with these projects, gaining more insights and shaping our process as well. What are we looking for? So we are asking you, OceanDAO community or Ocean protocol community, to help us with the financial support until we can do our seed round. So that would be really, really helpful for us. And yeah, our roadmap itself looks like this: that we are in 2021, we are going to do a seed funding. We are going to breed some more unions, and we're going to grow our microworker network. In the next year, we're going to do a token launch, so the ecosystem token, and to have resources to facilitate all of this development, and also to help the DataUnions that are formed to get off the ground. So they also need some starting capital. And then we will connect with a lot of data scientist communities to bring them in, to also create a lot of algorithms on top of the data sets. And in 2023, we then want to scale out the DataUnion with partners. So we see a lot of synergies also with the Ocean protocol. So we will be bringing in initial DataUnion offerings and initial algorithm offerings to the protocol. Those exist partially now, but we really want to make this like a process that can be then done by tens of thousands of algorithms and a lot of DataUnions. And what we also will do, we will always use the Ocean protocol technology, and also want to connect to the Web3 sustainability loop, so that the traffic on our data sets will also bring traffic into the Web3 sustainability loop, and then fuel the Ocean protocol ecosystem fund. We will extend Ocean protocol technology and experiment with new concepts, and of course this will then also flow back into the Ocean protocol ecosystem itself. And yeah, we are the first ecosystem on top of Ocean protocol that fully integrates it. So like we basically came from Ocean protocol, and we will stay with it. And yeah, of course, all of these endeavors that we are doing, basically we're bringing Ocean protocol in front of a lot of different new people, a lot of different verticals, a lot of companies, a lot of different important decision makers, and we think that this is also a great opportunity. And then last point, we want to also connect the DataUnion ecosystem to the active Ocean protocol ecosystem. So when we will do our token launch, we also then want to make it possible that there's a connection via the token and the people who are contributing in the Ocean protocol ecosystem. Yes, who are we? So it's me, Robin, and Mark. So I'm also an Ocean ambassador, and we both have long years of experience in AI and data aggregation, data sales. Mark is a business more on the business and ecosystem development side in Siemens and Elsevier, and also launched a research lab. And I'm coming from the automotive world, and I've been in the crypto space for a long time now also. And we are at the moment in the Outlier Ventures Filecoin base camp, and in the Celo camp. And yeah, we are supported by developers from all around the world who are helping us to create our products. So yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out to us, join our social media channels, stay up to date with what we're doing. Bye bye.